Good morning, one and all. I am Sravan Kumar. This is the project assignment of the tall building design for the certification course. This is the question which we are going to analyze. These are the column dimensions given and in which we are using auto select. The columns are of dimensions 500 by 500 and 550 by 550 and 600 by 600. The beams are of size 500 by 300, 550 by 350, 600 by 400. These are all dimensions in millimeter. The concrete used here is M40 concrete, M40 grade concrete, and the steel used for longitudinal reinforcement is 500 Fe 500, and for the stirrups it is mild steel 250. And coming to the slabs, it is the slab thickness is 150 mm and the concrete used is M40 grade concrete. And we have drawn the cladding by auto draw cladding. The cladding load is 0.2 kilonewton per meter, in which the wind load is considered, and the parameters are with respect to the Bangalore. And there coming to here, the floor levels are 23 stories, and the slab is not uniform throughout, and it is for 1 to 8 it is like this, and that is coming to the dead load, it is 2 kilonewton per meter square, and live load it is 5 kilonewton per meter square. For 1 to 8 story this is there. And coming to the stories 9 to 14, the dead load is 2 kilonewton and live load is 4.5 kilonewton per meter square. This is the shape of the slabs from 9 to 14. And coming to the shape of, this is the shape of the stories 15 to 19. Dead load is as usual 2 kilonewton per meter square and the live load is 4 kilonewton per meter square. And this is for the shape of the stories for story 20 to 23. Dead load is 2 kilonewton per meter square and live load is 3.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, let's start the design. This is the design which we have already done, but in the initial settings the number of grid lines are in the x and y direction are given as 4 and spacing as 6 meters, spacing as 6 meters in both the directions x and y. And coming to the stories, there are 23 stories given, and the typical and the both bottom story height as 3 meters. And in the custom story data, there are the stories are of different section for different floors, which means different shape for different floors. The stories are created in the custom story data for 8th story, 14th story and 19th story. And 23 story is initially there as master story, and it is clicked as OK, and the grid only option is selected, and the model of plan view and the 3D view are opened. Then the materials are defined by using the define materials, and then the materials have been added here. By the define materials, here we can add the materials by clicking add new material and selecting India, concrete, Indian, and the grade which we want, M40, and OK. Here it is OK. The M40 concrete grade has been created, and similarly by selecting the rebar India rebar and HYSD 500, which we require 500, and by clicking OK we will take the grade of this, add the material of this. Similarly for the mild steel 250 grade, and then OK. And coming to the defining of the section properties, define section properties and frame sections. In this also we have added the property by clicking add new property, and this is the window opened. After that, come and clicking the concrete rectangular, we have to define the name of the beam or column, and taking a material as concrete M40, and the dimensions have to be changed. And suppose for the column, this the option P, M2, M3 design is to be checked in, or for beam M3 design only is checked in. Coming to the long tunnel bars, FE 500, and confinement bars as mild steel 250, and the cover for the column is 40 mm, and OK. As I have already inserted, I have not clicked OK. These are the columns which we have created, and these are the beams which we have created. And for auto selecting, there is an option called auto select. In this, by auto selecting for concretes, by clicking all three and adding, and we can create the auto select material. This is the beam auto select, and this is the column auto select. Okay. Then we have to draw the shape of the building. Firstly, we have to draw the columns. As there are different shape at different floors, we have to select the similar stories option, and navigate to 1 to 8 in the 1 to 8 story for defining the bottom stories, and between 9 to 14 for drawing the shape of the stories at that location. And then it is, and between 15 to 19, and for story 20 to 23, the stories have been drawn by assigning the columns beams and floors slab, which means slab. Then the loads have been assigned. This is the option all stories option is selected. The all stories are selected. All stories are selected, and the loads are assigned as shell loads, assign shell loads, and uniform pressure. This is the dead load which we are assigning, as 2 kilonewton, which is there for all, and clicking on OK, the load is assigned to it. And the live loads are similarly assigned for each and every section of floors, as there are different load for each different floors. They are assigned respectively, and the wind loads, the wall cladding loads are assigned by selecting the edge beams, exterior beams on each floor, and assigning them the frame loads distributed and of 0.2 kilonewton per meter square, and clicking on OK, the loads are assigned to it. And the wind loads are also assigned by clicking on the elevation of A. Okay, and as usual, it is the option is all stories. Clicking on the all stories and assigning the assign shell loads and wind pressure coefficient of 0.8 in the windward side for A positive windward side, and clicking on OK, the load is assigned. Similarly, the load is assigned to the elevation B, as you can see that the wind from this A, the floors here also the wind is exposed, and selecting the elevation B. Okay, these elevations are also selected. These section of the beams of the building are also selected, and the wind coefficient is also assigned to this. And then coming to the similarly, the wind coefficients are assigned to C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4 sections also. The change is that in the AB, the low wind coefficient was in the windward side, and in the CD 1, 2, 3, 4 sections is leeward side. And the wind load is based on the IS 1875 1987. The wind load the wind load pattern was initially created by creating this. In this, the wind speed is based on the Bangalore city, and by the map given in the IS 875. The wind speed of 33 is selected. And coming to the terrain category, it is from the clause 5.3.2.1. The Bangalore city falls in the category 3. And coming to the structure class, the height is as the building height is more than 50 meters, it falls in the structure class C. And coming to the risk coefficient, and the structure life is considered as 50, so the risk coefficient value is 1. Coming to the topography factor, the wind slope is less than 3 degrees, so the topography factor is 1. And okay. and the loads are assigned to this structure. Okay, now from going to the plan section, and okay, all the loads have been assigned to the structure. The analysis of the building is run by selecting the analyze and run analysis. The analysis takes time as the structure is big and the number of members are more. These are the analysis results. By pointing at a beam or a column, we can know the deflections and information of that point. Similarly, we can see the stress diagrams. This is the stress diagrams for the beams and column. Bending moment diagrams. We can see the values by selecting the option here. Show values and apply. The values are displayed below. You can zoom it and see the values. And by selecting shear 2 you can see the shear force diagrams, and the values can be seen by zooming it in. Okay, values. Okay, and now we shall start the design. Firstly, design concrete frame design, view, revise preferences. Please we have to ensure that the design code is selected as IS 456 2000 and clicking on OK. And coming to the design, concrete frame design, and start design check. You can see that the design of the building has been started. This takes time as the number of members are more. Analysis and design section differ for 7 concrete frames. Do you want to reiterate analysis and design? Yes. This is where the auto select, beam auto select and column auto select works and replaces the sections. Replaces sections where we want, where the members are failed. and the analysis and design are run again automatically. Mm, you can see the reinforcement details have been created here. You can zoom it and see the values by clicking the use extruded view here. And to check whether the all the members have been passed, we have to select the concrete frame design and verify all members passed. You can see that all concrete frames passed the design check and OK. And you can see the reports generated. Clicking on the summary report, you can see the report of the all the member details, such as analysis results and base reactions and story drifts, story forces, model dimension factors, and other all the details can be seen here, structure details and all the dimensions, etc. By clicking on any beam, you can see the details of that beam. By clicking on the details, you can see the details here. Okay. Thank you.